Hey there guys, this is Sam
And Justin
at the Survival Review, and today we're going to be talking about the sequel to the wonderful horror anthology movie Creepshow, Creepshow 2, which...
Isn't that so wonderful?
Yeah, I mean it's not
not bad. It's not.
It's just not great.
If you think of it as a sequel to Creepshow, it's bad.
Yeah.
But if you look at it on its own as a horror anthology, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, the screenplay is by George A. Romero.
Yeah, the screenplay is by George Romero, and it's based off of stories by Stephen King.
Yeah, so it still kind of has that collaboration, but it's not directed by them. I can't remember the name of the director. You
can tell it's not directed by him because remember how we said the first movie feels like a comic book come to life? This one's just a movie.
Yeah, it really is.
There's none of that style to it.
Yeah, it kind of almost tries at points, but it doesn't succeed in giving that same feel that the first one
that
had.
sense of fun
and
just over the top craziness is not really present in this movie.
Not really.
Which is why, as a sequel to Creepshow, it is very disappointing.
Yeah.
But looking at it on its own terms, it's a fun anthology. There's 3 stories this time, aside from 5, like the last movie.
Yeah.
And 1 out of the 3 is really good.
Yeah, 1 out of the 3 we both really enjoy.
Yeah.
And I pretty much hear the same from most people that I hear talk about this movie. They say that one of these stories is better than the other 2. There's one thing that they kind of did in the first one, but in the first movie it was just a bookend. It was the beginning and the end. In this one it takes place in between each story. And it's a little animated. Well, it starts out live action and then turns into animated.
Yeah. And this time we have a Crypt Keeper type of character. He's just called the Creep, but he's basically the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
Like Tales from the Crypt.
And he's played by none other than Tom Savini.
Yeah, which is really cool that he's played by Tom Savini.
And even the voice work itself is good. He's good at doing the creep voice, you know.
And I like the animation in the segments. It's like this 80s style animation. It's just always fun to watch.
Yeah.
And the expressions are exaggerated and stuff like that.
So it follows this little boy named Billy who he just loves these Creepshow books, kind of like the kid in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
So he decides to order some bulbs for Venus flytraps, and some jerk kids decide to stomp on it and just pick on him for no reason.
Yeah.
So they go on a big chase after he kicks one of them in the nards, and toward the end he just gets revenge on these bullies.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a fun little thing to watch in between each story.
It's something different in the first movie that actually works in this one.
Yeah, it was a cool thing for them to add, and it definitely did give it its own little charm.
Yeah.
Then moving on to the actual stories of the movie, there are 3 of them, and the first one, which is probably my least favorite,
yes, definitely,
is called Old Chief Woodenhead, and it's pretty stupid.
Yeah, it is.
Basically, it follows this old shopkeeper who
was Frank Drebin's partner in the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah.
Speaking of Leslie Nielsen, we had Frank Drebin in the first movie, and we had Ed in the second one.
Yeah. He's just this, lovable old dude who's trying to keep his store running, but he's also just too nice, and he's giving people stuff for free.
Yeah. And their town is it's run down.
Yeah, exactly. So this old Native American who feels bad that the people of his tribe have been borrowing from him and haven't repaid him in any way. So they loan him these beads and these jewels from each person in the tribe as a temporary payment until they can actually pay him back. So he's holding onto these beads, and in walk these 3 dudes. Basically, it's these 3 just punk kids who are robbing his store. The main one is the nephew of the Native American guy who just gave him the beads.
Yeah, they want to go to Hollywood. That's their plan.
Yeah.
He's just a ridiculous character.
He really is. He's so convinced that he's going to be a movie star, and he's so full of himself, and he's taking pictures of himself the whole time. Really, really obsessed with his hair.
Yeah, really obsessed.
Yeah, that's his thing. He's it took me 6 years to grow this hair.
Hey, as soon as they see this hair, they're gonna say, Sam, get over here.
But things go a bit dark when he actually kills both the shopkeeper and his wife and steals the beads and says, we're going to Hollywood tonight.
Yeah.
But little did he know that the shopkeeper has old Chief Woodenhead in front of the store keeping watch, who's just this, Native American statue.
And then it comes to life and kills off all the kids.
Yeah, that's really all there is to it.
That's all it is.
It's just old Chief Woodenhead getting revenge, and he kills them, and,
There you go. I feel that since it doesn't have that sense of fun that the original had, this story comes off as really stupid.
It does.
I feel like if it was done in the first movie, it would still probably be stupid, but it would be a bit more buyable. I'd be able to buy this story more
Yeah.
than I do in this movie.
Yeah,
Since it's
in
played
this
more
one-
straight.
Yeah. And it feels so dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably the worst
Yes,
story in this movie.
It is.
But moving on to the second story in this movie, which we both agree and a lot of people agree is the best one in this
Yes,
movie.
definitely.
It's the one that I always remember this movie for, and that's The Raft.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really simple one too, but it works really well.
Yes. So the plot follows these group of kids who are going to this lake to just go swimming, and there's this raft out in the middle of the lake. And once they swim to that raft, they realize there's this blob. It just looks like a bunch of waste just swimming in the water, and it seems to be going after them for some reason.
Yeah.
So they're stranded on this raft, and they have to find a way to get back to shore and avoid getting killed by this blob of waste.
They kind of describe it as like it looks like an oil
Yeah.
slick, but when you actually see the close-ups of it, it looks like there's just chunks of stuff. In
Yeah,
there. It's
yeah.
weird. And
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting, but it's really cool.
yeah, it really works as like this just stranded without a hope kind of
Yeah,
story.
like they're just isolated, and
Yeah.
just like there's nothing you can do, and it's and you're invested in it.
Exactly. They're stuck on this thing, and it's not even that they can just stay on the raft because
Yeah.
it can also come up through the boards. So
Mm-hmm.
you also have to be paying attention to where you're standing on the raft.
Yeah, that part was
Otherwise,
great.
it can take you down like it did with one of the dudes.
They never explain what the oil slick type thing is. It's never explained,
No, it's just...
but
come on.
it works. It works in the story.
Yeah. It kind of adds that just mystery element
Yes.
to it. It's like you have no clue what it is, but it's scary. So
Yes. Some of the acting is iffy,
yeah.
especially the main guy.
The main guy is the worst of them.
Yes.
I mean,
It looked like it was going after the girls.
He's not a very good actor.
no, he's generally just bad.
Yeah, he's not convincing.
No.
There's some really good effects in it.
Yeah, definitely. The effects of all the deaths in this one.
Yeah.
Maybe the last one is a little weird.
The final effect of the segment, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
That did not work.
But the first three are definitely really
For the actual
cool.
death scenes,
Yeah.
they're all really good effects and really gross, and they work.
Yeah, and even the last line, his delivery is just so bad. It's just
Yeah.
like, I beat you.
I beat you!
But aside from that, the rest of the story makes up for that.
Yeah, and it definitely is the most memorable one in this movie. In fact, when we were first talking about reviewing this, it was like we were trying to remember what the
Yeah.
three segments were about, and the only one we could remember was the raft.
Yeah, I vaguely remembered the one with the Indian statue,
Yeah.
and I remember the raft for sure. And then the third one, I honestly didn't remember at all.
But the raft is quite memorable
Mm-hmm.
and worth watching.
Check this one out
Yeah.
if you can.
It's worth watching.
So then that brings us to the final segment, the
which is
hitchhiker.
The hitchhiker.
It's not as good as the raft, and not as memorably bad as Old Chief Woodenhead. It's
Yeah.
just kind of there.
It's just there, and there's nothing really special about it. It's a pretty kind of cliche story. It follows this woman who had just been cheating on her husband. She's driving home to meet her husband, and she accidentally starts to lose control of her car, and she hits a hitchhiker.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of in the heat of the moment, she thinks to herself, like, well, if I get caught for this, I'm going to be caught cheating too, and it's just going to ruin my life. So she runs,
Yeah.
and she ignores that she just killed a man, and it comes back to get her.
Yes.
Literally.
Because the hitchhiker just keeps appearing in front of her car, on her car, the dead hitchhiker.
Yeah.
And just like she's being haunted by this hitchhiker.
Yeah,
And she has to
and-
just get rid of him, and yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, and all he ever says is thanks for the ride, lady. And,
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks for the ride.
You know, it has its moments.
Yeah,
Where
there's some good moments in it.
Yeah.
Some good jump scares and stuff like that that are fun.
Yeah, and the makeup on the hitchhiker
Yes.
himself is definitely very cool.
That's really good.
There's a part where like he's opening up the passenger door and she's shooting him, and I don't know, that's a really cool kind of scene
I like
right
that.
there.
And then it does have a cameo by Stephen King.
What the fuck happened?
Looks like a hit and run.
As
Yeah,
a truck
Stephen
driver.
King's a truck driver.
So that's good.
He's always a redneck for like he can't play anything else.
He was good. I liked it.
Yeah,
I like
he-
seeing him.
For the couple minutes that he was there.
He should have been the main character.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
I would have been
the
okay
first
with it.
movie.
Yeah, that'd have been great.
But
if we just
what can you
played,
do?
if we just reprised his role from the first movie in here.
That would have been amazing.
But yeah, the story, there's not a whole lot to really talk about. It's just, that's all it is, just her trying to get away. You don't know if it's like she's being attacked by a ghost or not.
Yeah, it's just weird, you know.
Yeah.
And
But it is watchable. It is definitely
it's
watchable.
It's not an unwatchable thing. It has its
No.
moments. It's just not really memorable.
It's just something you're gonna remember like the next day.
Yeah.
You know.
So
those are the 3 segments. Overall, The Raft, really good.
yeah,
Check that one out.
the other 2 you can leave behind.
Don't watch Old Chief Woodenhead.
Yeah.
And check out The Hitchhiker if you want to. I think the best part about this movie is the animated segments, actually. They're the most entertaining parts of the movie.
They really are. They really are fun to watch, and The Raft as well.
Because those add to the comic book style of it.
Yeah.
Which I like, which was one of the best parts of the first movie.
Exactly.
And which is not carried over into this one as much, which is really disappointing. Because that was the main appeal. That's what made Creepshow 1 so great.
Exactly. It just had such a distinct style of its own, and the second one just couldn't live up to it.
But
So,
again, it's okay.
yeah, it's not bad, and
Would I recommend you watch this movie? Yeah, maybe once or so.
I wouldn't recommend a whole bunch of times.
No.
Like, I'd say just watch Creepshow 1 a bunch.
Yeah.
You'll get a lot more enjoyment out of that.
But this one's okay.
Yeah, it's worth one watch at least,
Yes.
I'd say.
Yeah, if you're a horror fan, it's worth checking out once.
Yeah.
So, out of 10,
Yeah, out of 10, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
yeah, I'll go 6 as well.
Yeah, that's pretty much spot on as to what it deserves. Nothing special, but it's not bad. Decent movie, worth watching once, but not one of my biggest recommendations for
No.
around Halloween. And don't expect us to be talking about Creepshow 3.
No.
We've both seen it at some point. I don't remember.
No, I haven't seen it. I saw
Oh,
I saw the first few minutes of the first segment.
I thought you had seen all of it. Okay.
No way.
I did watch it a while back. I don't remember a thing about it though. and
I
I'm
saw I saw the first 5 minutes of the first segment, and it was so awful I had to turn it off. from there. It's a straight-to-video movie from 2005 or something that had no involvement from George Romero or Stephen King.
Yeah, it's a cash grab.
Yeah.
But,
We don't even really count it as an actual movie. I still say there's only 2 Creepshow movies.
yeah, and you can totally ignore Creepshow 3.
I think that's what most people say too. That there's only 2 actual Creepshow movies.
Yeah. So don't expect a video on that from us.
No, never.
It would not get a good review. We'll just say that.
Yeah, we just.
But other than that, I think that's all we've got to say about the Creepshow
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
So until next time, thank you guys very much for watching.
We'll talk to you later.